Hello, Cancer. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Cancer is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It's totally free. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. If there's anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Cancer, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we've got a Seven of Swords. I feel like we are searching for answers. Yeah. I feel like we kind of want to know if what we're doing is the right thing. Yeah. If our path is the right one. I feel like there's some confusing energy around it. We're going to put this into some context, all right? I got the Hermit. Yeah, see, we're starting to do this introspection, this reflection, this circumspection, right? We're trying to kind of look around the room and say, is everything where it's supposed to be? Six of Cups. This is what we want. It could be that we're feeling this harmony. We're feeling like everything is like, dang, everything's right where it's supposed to be. Is this real, right? We've got a little bit of kind of conflict here with the Five of Wands, but then a Six of Swords too, right? 7 to 6, Six of Cups, Six of Swords. To me, this is confirmation. To me, this is saying that, yes, if we're having these doubts and this confusion, we're starting to question, we want answers. I feel like the answer is yes. I feel like the answer is harmony. That it may feel sometimes like things are, maybe it's a conscious feeling in our mind, right? A mental thing that things are just confused. There's so much going on. I have so many different thoughts. There's so many different ways this could really be. But what does your heart tell you? In your heart, I think you're feeling tranquil. You're feeling peace. You're feeling love and affection, right? And we just got to get the mind on the same page, right? The mind is there are doubts, right? There's a little bit of confusion, a little bit of doubts. We want the conscious or intellectual certainty that what we feel is real. Yeah, I like it. I like it very much. So we've got some court cards now. We've got a Princess of Cups. We got the Queen of Wands here, Four of Wands. Eight of Wands. Look like this is going to be our Pillar of Fire over here. And another 6. Look at that. 6, 6, 6. That is a beautiful number. 6 is the number of the sun. Okay? And all of these cards really relate to the solar energy. So this is harmony. This is kind of being in harmony with your own power, your own strength, your own energy, your own will, and being in harmony with the world outside too. So it's like there's a triple harmony here. There's a harmony perhaps in our, if we look at it in the elements, there's harmony in our heart, harmony in our mind, harmony in our body, in our environment, because the body is really like the interface with the world, right? It's kind of, this is what we share with the manifested world, is the physical kind of thing. And even when we communicate with others, we have to vibrate our physical body, right? So that you can hear me. And that comes in through the senses. And so there's this higher intuitive, more telepathic communication that can be happening. But as far as the harmony and resonance that's taking place in your life right now, it's very much through your physical interactions, your physical practices. I don't know if you have like a specific routine in the morning. I feel like you kind of wake up at the same time. You have the same kind of flow. You go to the bathroom, brush your teeth, this kind of thing. You got your slippers on, whatever it is. I feel like it's a routine, right? And I feel like you have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee in the morning. You have it the same way. You maybe put on the same music, right? The same playlist in the morning. And then you have like maybe an exercise or a stretching routine. I feel like your mornings are very consistent. Yeah, because I think you like that feeling of connection. You like that rhythm and harmony in your physical body and then in your physical world. Yeah. This is very, very interesting energy. Let's select the mystery card. Bonus card, confirmation card. This is one random card from the Smith Waite Tarot that we will just set down over here. We're going to put Jimbo, the Lizard King, aka Mr. Lizard, right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but Cancer, it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during the reading you feel like you know what that card is or you have a hunch, put it down in the comments, right? Let's make it interactive. Let's do it as a group exercise in intuition. All right. Let's look around the room here. I'm noticing something quite interesting. The only major arcana card we have is this Hermit, right? Is this Hermit. So this is really going to be the key to it all. And I think Cancer, it's really something that look, I'm a solar Cancer too. I know about that. We go inward. When we have doubts, confusion, when something feels out of place, there's some sort of conflict or confusion or doubt, we go in. We go into our shell so that we can figure it out. You know, how many times do you go to sleep at night and you're lying on your pillow, closing your eyes, trying to sleep, but you're working problems out in your mind? A lot of the time I do that too. That's where I do kind of my best thinking, is right when I'm about to fall asleep. I'm working out problems in my head as I fall asleep. And then I think that translates over into our dream world too. All right? Because we do have, incidentally, we've got the dream card here. This is the fish in the percolator, the Princess of Cups. Now, I think the Princess of Cups is talking about your your inner imagination, kind of your dream life, your dream world, right? And I think that's one way that you can get certainty in your life, right? By paying attention to your dreams, right? We're looking for instant answers. We want something that we can just shake the magic 8-ball, right? And look at it. Yes, perfect. Even if it's a no. If it's a no, that's okay. I don't want to be left in limbo, right? Is there something that is pending for you that you really want it to happen, but you don't like being in suspense? You don't like being kept waiting, you know? Even if it's a no, that's fine. Just tell me. You know, don't leave me hanging, really, is the name of the game here. We want an instant answer, but we know the world doesn't work that way. For whatever reason, we have this Seven of Swords, and this is us trying to be patient, trying to wait for the answer to either be revealed to us, or we get that phone call from the person that gives us the yes or no, right? There's really nothing you can do right now to hurry things along. We've got the Eight of Wands, Five of Wands. There's a need to kind of nip the anxiety in the bud, right? Before it really gets a hold. That's another Cancer thing I think is true for a lot of us. We're prone to anxiety. Yeah. And I think some of that anxiety comes from wanting to do something, wanting to have an effect on something, but realizing that all we can really do is wait. Either wait for the answer to come to us from our own dreams, our own minds, our own kind of calculations, or waiting for the answer to come from that other person who we're waiting for the phone call, right? Did you recently send a text to somebody and it was like the wrong person or something? It was kind of an awkward moment. I don't know why Spirit's telling me to mention the text message. Something about you sent a text, but I feel like it went to the wrong person. And it might have to do with this kind of waiting game that you're playing. But I feel like it was kind of awkward after that, and you kind of had to, like, I don't know if you sent another text to explain it or if you just, like, didn't say anything about it. Something about the text message going to the wrong place. But see, that's part of this Five of Wands up here, feeling like we need to do something. And it's 5. It's right in the middle between action and non-action, right? It's how much... And kind of in a way, it's not even really a question of non-action. This is you thinking, I've got to do something. How extreme does it need to be? Do I need to go full measure, full 10, crank it up? Or do I just need to drop a little hint? You know, maybe sending that text message was a little bit of an unconscious slip there. Kind of, I don't know if that'd be a Freudian slip. Not exactly, but... something that you kind of sort of meant to do in order to nudge that person into figuring something out, right? Oh, sorry, that was meant for somebody else, but it still makes them aware that you exist, and so then maybe they'll be like, oh yeah, no worries, by the way, I've got an answer on that thing you're waiting for, I wonder if that was kind of a unconsciously and intentional mistake, right, that we made. Because I feel like it's hard for us to do nothing. Right? But that's really what is being required right now. You want answers. Those answers are going to come from within you. And whether the actual answer is yes or no, the calmness, the certainty, the tranquility is going to come from within you. So if we can find a way to figure this out within ourselves, do this introspection, do this circumspection, and find our peace and our harmony, then whatever the answer is going to be okay. I'm okay with waiting. Whatever the answer is, I'm still okay, right? So we're trying to take this confused Seven of Swords and we're trying to create this Six of Swords so that we can have our triple harmony here, right? Because I think you feel that this is going to work out great. This is going to be perfectly fine. And maybe the Six is that feeling that whatever happens is going to be okay. If it's a yes or a no, doesn't really matter. I just don't like being kept waiting. But then here we see the Six of Swords, and that's saying, well, things are going to go how they're going to go. If it's a yes, if it's a no, it doesn't matter. Waiting is part of the process. Yeah, learning how to wait for this thing is part of the process. But let's take another quick look around. We know we've got all this fire energy here. We have just this little bit of water, which is very good water. We have our air, and then of course we have our earth energy at the end. Whatever is taking place, I think, is going to work out well for you. If this is a business deal, if it's a relationship thing, or if it's something to do with money, maybe it's some physical, maybe it's like health results, like test results or something that you're waiting for. I think everything's going to be okay. I think it's us learning how to wait and sit with this anxiety of not knowing. That's where the trouble lies, Your dream life, again, the dream life is very important. Now, do you do something with furniture? I'm getting an idea here, an impression of you either restoring furniture or, what do they call it, upcycling furniture, like kind of refurbishing it, doing something to it and selling it, something along those lines, something with furniture, but it's kind of like repairing or restoring the furniture. Yeah, something along those lines. Sometimes these messages come through. I'm not exactly sure how they connect or who they're meant for. If they're not meant for you, don't worry about it. Leave them for the next person. But it's a way, I think, of validating the energy that we're in and offering synchronicity to some of you out there, okay? There's also probably a metaphor there. There's probably also a symbol of something. There's a lesson in that. Restoring the furniture. Maybe this really is about, the kind of physical routine, the physical, emotional part of things, the way we can feel more in tune, we can feel more tranquil and peaceful when our physical routine is intact. Maybe there is something that has been disrupting your physical routine, or maybe because you're in this limbo, this kind of waiting time, that it's interfering with your rhythm, right? Your morning routine, let's say. And I think what we need to do is restore our routine, and that'll restore some of this harmony. Yeah, so it is kind of like a furniture repair kind of thing. Let's see what else we've got. I also feel like somebody plays the piano in your life. I don't know if you're the piano player. I keep hearing the tinkling of keys. Someone's pretty good with the ivory there. I don't know if that's you or someone close to you, but there's the piano. There could be a relationship between like a mother. I'm feeling a mother-daughter relationship here somewhere that's kind of strained. I almost feel as if, looking at the court cards, right? We have water and fire. We have kind of a daughter and a mother type of energy. And it seems like there's a disconnect. It seems like there's not not necessarily a strained relationship there, but it's just as if the two of you are just different, right? And don't really, it's just hard for you to know each other really. And I think that's kind of a normal thing with a mother and a daughter. That there comes a point where it's just like, maybe like they're their own person and they're different than you are. And that's a good thing, but it also it leads to a difficulty kind of understanding each other. I don't know if that has anything to do with this situation, or maybe this is the kind of phone call that we're waiting for. Maybe, I don't know who you would be in this situation, but maybe we're kind of waiting for that connection to happen again. Sometimes the Six of Swords is about that phone call. It is about finally we're making that connection. Maybe there's been some phone tag, maybe some text messages that have kind of been misunderstood. The Six of Swords finally making the connection. We're finally able to get on the horn with each other and just have a chat. And then okay, everything's okay. Maybe you haven't heard from this person in a while, or they're not returning calls or something, right? When you finally connect with them, then it's going to be okay. Everything's good, I really do like the Six of Cups, though, because I feel like this is the kind of relationship that you aspire to in every area of your life, whether this is personal, if it is a family thing, if it's business, if it's something to do with your neighborhood or your community. You're always looking to make the best of every situation, and I feel like you really want everyone to feel okay, to feel good, to feel safe, to feel loved and appreciated. Yeah, I feel like that's important to you. I feel like if you see somebody that's sad, you have that empathy. You feel sad too. You can understand their sadness, and you want to kind of do something about that. Am I right? The Hermit, I feel like this. I feel like maybe, I don't know if you live alone, but I feel like there's a little bit of this. Again, it's kind of a disconnect that I'm feeling. Let's see. What else could we talk about here? Is there Spirit showing me a lot of books, a lot of stacks of books? I don't know if you're one of these. I'm like this too. You get a lot of books. You love buying books. You love the smell of new books. You love the feel of new books. You like looking at your books. But lately, it's been hard to focus on reading those books. Yeah. And I think that's part of this Seven of Swords thing, where our mind, it's not our heart, it's not our body, our mind seems to just be uneasy, unable to get back into that routine. Yeah, to get back into that harmony and that flow. But don't worry, it's coming. All right, we got that right here with that Six of Swords. That harmony is coming, okay? Again, with the Princess of Cups, I want to emphasize the dream world. Pay attention to your dreams. Okay, I feel like you've started doing that. Maybe you recently have started a dream journal. That's good. Keep it going. Keep it going. There's also a connection with Paris, France. I don't know if you're from there, if one of these family members is in Paris, but there's something meaningful. There's some sort of meaningful connection with Paris for you. Okay. Let's go to the path of the serpent now. And as we do this, I'd like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do, totally free. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, and it really does help out the channel, and I appreciate that. Okay. I just realized the connection with Paris. Jimbo, the Lizard King, buried in Paris. I wonder if that's it. I don't think that's it. That's it for me, but I don't know if that's the connection for you. Interesting. So we're going over here, and we've got that older, what could be an older female energy here with the Queen of Wands here. The Queen of Wands is somebody that can sometimes have a little bit of an irritable attitude, let's say. Somebody that might seem like they're hard to get to know. Yeah, and I don't know if this is you, if this is maybe the other person in this dynamic, in this relationship, or there's somebody else altogether, or if this is just how we might be feeling right now. A little irritable, a little bit kind of snappy, kind of not losing our temper, but we don't make it easy for people to approach us with this kind of energy. And really, that's another one of these Cancer traits, I think. We got those claws, right? We got those pinchers. And when people get too close, sometimes we snap at them. Sometimes we can be a little, what my wife says, snippy. And that's just because we're feeling vulnerable. We're feeling that water on the inside. Queen of Wands is water of fire. There's water on the inside, fire on the outside, right? So we're just we're snipping and snapping at people for no other reason than we're feeling either hurt or worried or scared or uncertain, right? And I think that this might be a little bit of what's going on, or we don't want to let it get to this point. We need to recognize when this is starting to come upon us and do something with it, okay? Channel this into something creative, maybe into that, into the piano, or if it's any other kind of music or creative outlet that you might have, okay? The Queen of Wands can be very creative, right? This fire energy could come out as just this frenzy of musical creation or artistic creation or whatever it is that you do. Yeah, to express your creativity. Try that. Try some of that. Yeah, I think that would be good for you. The Four of Wands here is in the position of the environment. To me, this is going to be some closure. To me, this is going to be the connection that is going to be made, and that it's going to give you that the resolution and the relief. That's the word I was looking for. The relief that you need. So maybe we are worried about a family member, or we're worried that we're not able to get in contact with somebody, or somebody's not calling us back, or we haven't got the test results, or we're waiting in limbo for this yes or no decision on a business deal. Things are going to be resolved. Okay, I think in a few days from now, really. But until then, we have to try to harmonize our mind. This is really the work here, is going from the Seven of Swords to a Six of Swords. And let's find a way that we can be a little bit more tranquil in our mental state, right? So we're not so worried, so that we're not thinking about this too much, right? So let's do other things that maybe we can distract ourselves with, something creative, something that can allow us to sleep at night. Maybe we don't need to go to bed every night trying to figure this problem out. Let's focus on something else. But things are going to get resolved. Okay, things are going to get resolved. Now, Spirit's showing me something on your ankle, or not. It's like right on the top of your foot, right by your ankle, like a scar, or it might be a birthmark or something on your ankle there. I don't think it's a tattoo because it just seems like it's barely noticeable, but it's like a little scar right there. I don't know the connection or the meaning of that. I think sometimes we get these impressions, and I think Spirit shows us things that don't really have a direct meaning or message, right? And I think that's part of this whole process, because we see a little symbol. I see a little scar on your ankle, and part of me just wants to say, oh, that's got to be something profound, something deeply meaningful. What is it? What is it? And I feel myself right here in the Seven of Swords, trying to figure it out. It's got to mean something. No, not everything means something. Sometimes things are just things. Sometimes things are just there for us to connect with our body, right? So I mentioned the scar. You're probably reaching down and touching it, right? Feeling, yeah, I do have a scar there. I don't think I do, actually, but makes me want to check, And I think we're just getting in touch with the physical world, as a way of grounding ourselves, as a way of really. And I think that's something Cancer really needs to keep in mind. We have to stay in touch with our bodies, because we can dissociate. We can go inside that shell and we can just forget that we have a body or a world or a life, and it's just us with our thoughts and our hearts, So it's good to reconnect with the body, and I think that's something that you do through those morning routines, through your coffee or your tea and your music and your yoga routine or your stretches, or maybe you do breathing exercises, right? Deep breathing exercises in the morning is very healthy. I'm not a doctor. I'm not diagnosing or prescribing anything. But, as far as the energy goes, deep breathing, at least for me, is a very productive thing to do. And really the deep breathing helps to clear our mind. Maybe that's part of it too. I don't know if you used to do a lot of breathing work and then you suddenly stopped, or we got too busy, too wrapped up in other things that we just kind of fell out of practice, right? Get back to that deep breathing. Get back to that deep breathing. Did you ever do, I don't know if it's free diving or something, but I feel like you used to be able to hold your breath for a really, really long time. Like maybe you were a diver, like a free diver or something, or maybe you did something, I don't know, something like this, but I feel like that's something that, as like a sport, maybe you're a swimmer, something was something that you were really, really good at, and then we fell out of practice. Spirit's saying, get back to the breathing. Get back to the breathing. The Eight of Wands, we did talk about that, and this is the card we don't want, right? And this is kind of, the idea that things are going to be the most kind of frantic, chaotic, hectic, anxious right before we get to that good news, that tranquility, right? This is when you are, you're almost at the finish line. And maybe if you do the breath holding kind of thing, and you're trying to reach a goal of, 3-5 minutes or something, and you're right there, you only got a few seconds left. Those are the longest and worst few seconds of your life, right? And I can relate to this because I do meditation, and sometimes I'll sit in meditation for so long, I'm aiming for like an hour, right? As soon as it's like 55 minutes, my body just says, that's enough, let's go. I start getting itchy, I start to hurt, I get sore, I get cramped, and I feel like I'm going to just explode. The last few seconds is always the worst. And that's what we've got here with the Eight of Wands. The anxiety is going to be the worst. The impulse to do something and force something and take some sort of drastic action is going to be the worst right before everything breaks open and the sun is shining. Yeah. And we get these 3 6s, and we get that solar energy, and we get that harmony. Everything's going to be fine. Let's take a deep breath. Yeah. Let's look at the mystery card. Be a good distraction while we wait. Yeah. And, I'll be waiting here right along with you. I'm here every day, 6 a.m. Chicago time. We've got already a little bit of everything. Maybe we need some more major arcana. Maybe we need to see another 6. Maybe a 6 of Wands will give us that kind of balance with the 5 and the 8 of Wands. And but maybe not, I don't know. If you have a prediction, I want you to put it down in the comments. All right. What do we think this could be? I'm just going to say a 6 of Wands or any other 6. Oh, Page of Wands. Okay. Page of Wands. Let's see. Someone was asking me before if I switch meanings when I go between the Thoth deck and the Waite-Smith deck, or the Smith-Waite deck. I like to put Pamela's name first. I do, and I don't. I think that the different packs of cards have different energies associated with them. And just through my use of the cards and the images on the cards, it develops its own kind of personality, each card. So for the Page of Wands, which is the Princess of Wands in the Thoth deck, to me that card is impulsive. That card is, we have this fiery impulse that is just acting out. Whatever comes to us, a feeling, a thought, emotion, we do it. Right? That's somebody that has no filter, no check or balance internally. Every impulse they have becomes behavior, right? Impulsive. But to me, the Page of Wands is kind of the other way around. There's still this idea of not impulsivity, but the fire to earth act of creation. But to me, this card is more about experimentation. It's not impulsive and hectic and chaotic. It's not risky kind of thing, but it's more experimental, right? This card is more about having these impulses, having all of this fire energy, and now learning how to channel it into new things, experimenting, finding out what works. So to me, this is kind of a card that says, let's build on our routine. Let's get into the harmony of our life in a new way. What else can we kind of build into this thing? Let's experiment with new ways of expressing these sixes, basically, this harmony. Yeah. So to me, this is kind of like we're getting the news that we want, and now we have to kind of adapt to it. We've got to figure out how to rebuild this harmony, right? Because in some ways, if the answer is no, I feel like you're waiting on a yes or no answer. If the answer is no, then you could go right back to the harmony and the routine and the rhythm that you were in. If the answer is yes, you're still going to be out of phase. You're still going to be out of harmony, right? Because now this new thing is happening, and you've got to figure out how to get everything back into alignment. So let's work on getting back into alignment now, so that when this thing does happen, and I do think it will, that you'll easily find a way to restore the balance, restore the harmony. Does that make sense? Anyway, we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around for that, click on the link that is up in the corner, or there's one down in the video description. New readings for Cancer every Tuesday and Friday, 6 a.m. Chicago time. But I'm here every day. Just come on back tomorrow. Yeah, we can hang out. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Totally free. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. And leave a comment for me. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I like to see kind of how we're building this community. It is worldwide, and maybe you'll find somebody that is in a similar area with you that you can kind of connect with in the comments. And of course, be careful with your personal information. Don't dox yourself. Don't put any kind of personal thing. Just if you want to just, what part of the world you're in is fine. You don't have to be specific, okay? But it's kind of nice to know that there are clusters of us kind of everywhere. So it doesn't matter where you are, there's someone nearby. And just knowing that, I think, is kind of a fun thing. Anyway, I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.